jump canoe. March the roads and bust a move. Grab the pants, stand to heel and go. That's how we Bahamians go. This we culture proud and strong. Grab your cowbells, beat that drum. Wind your waist, gal, come alive. This carnival's juggling style.
I want you feel that rhythm, bounce off the wall. Get out the reggae and the dance hall. Break and break, give me chunk and party people. This one is just for you. And roll when I walk and roll the music, come take over me. Chunk and move that when you see me sweat. I don't care who said this to me. Hey, tell the DJ turn up the bass. Me and my girls gonna wind up a waist. Rum pum pum on the boats can drop. This time for us to have fun. Bring the rhythm now. Blow the horns to me, turn up the lights to me. Hands in the air, give me the rhythm. Bring the cowbells to me. Hands in the air to me. Like we don't care. Blaze up the rhythm. Feel that rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm. Feel that rhythm. Feel that rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm. Feel that rhythm. Feel that rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm. Feel that rhythm. Feel that rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm. Feel that rhythm. How winding on time, Bay Street is mine. You see we rushing down the road. This second year carnival is here. We taking this party into beast mode. So tell the DJ turn up the bass. Me and my girls gonna mash up the place. Rum pum pum on the guts can drum. It's time for us to have fun. On the front lines to me. Boy lick the drums to me. Hands in the air give me the rhythm. Come blow your whistle for me. All through the night to me. Hands in the air give me. Blaze up the rhythm.
Tonight, the Bahamas getting the all clear from Hurricane Erin, but another storm is trailing in its wake. Also, a bus driver receiving serious injuries following an attack. And later, a debate over accreditation at the University of the Bahamas. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, the all clear has been given for the Central and Southeast Bahamas, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands. The latest coming from the Department of Meteorology, who says all tropical storm watches and warnings have been discontinued as of 3 this afternoon. Forecasters still say residents on those islands can expect some severe showers from the outer bands of Erin. It's expected to continue this evening and well into the night. Erin is now a powerful hurricane with maximum sustained winds near 105 miles per hour with higher gusts. Fluctuations in the strength are possible over the next few days. Meantime, forecasters are also watching two disturbances in lying behind that powerful Hurricane Erin. The The first one, a tropical wave, which meteorologists say has a strong chance of developing in the next 7 days and a slight chance in another day or two. They say this disorganized cluster of storms could approach the Leeward Islands near Antigua by Friday and potentially keep moving west after that. The deputy director of the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Green, had this to say on the possible system. He's also urging Bahamians to be prepared as we enter the peak of the hurricane season.
It has about a 10% chance in the next, I'd say in the next 2 days, and about a 20% chance in the next 7 days. So right now we're watching it to see if there's going to be any development in the next 7 days, and then based on that we will further let the public know what's happening with that system.
On to news from the crime beat tonight. A 60-year-old bus driver in serious condition after he was allegedly stabbed in the neck by a 30-year-old man on Tuesday morning who's also in police custody. Police say the incident happening in the Farrington Road area where the victim, as we said, a jitney driver, was attacked by an unknown man who mounted the jitney and reportedly asked for money. Police say the attacker allegedly stabbed the driver after he said he didn't have any. The suspect in custody was nabbed in the Horseshoe Drive area. Authorities are interrogating him in reference to some other stabbing incidents, the first taking place on Monday and the second early this morning on University Drive and College Avenue. Both incidents, according to police, leaving 2 males in hospital. It's a story we are continuing to follow tonight. Well, also in news from the courts, a 20-year-old man who allegedly impersonated a police officer being hauled before the courts to answer to the charges days after he was captured on video that made the rounds on social media, adorned in police paraphernalia and pretending to be a cop in the Goodmans Bay area. The accused was charged with unlawfully having police accoutrements and falsely pretending to be a police officer. He pled not guilty to the charges, was granted bail in the amount of $5,000. He returns to court next month, September 9th, for trial. Well, also from the crime beat tonight, officers attached to the Drug Enforcement Unit confiscating illegal drugs in 2 separate incidents on Exuma on Monday afternoon around 12:45. Officers reportedly searched a vacant lot on Clapboard Alley, that's in Georgetown, and discovered a large bag of suspected hydroponic marijuana under a wooden pallet. The drugs weighed about 2 pounds with a street value of $5,000. A short time later, just after 1 p.m., officers searched a bushy area off of Queens Highway. It's there they say they found a croco sack containing some 8 pounds of suspected cocaine valued at $80,000. No arrests being made in either case. Investigations are said to be ongoing tonight. While fingers are being pointed at police in light of a coroner's court inquest reclassifying Evans's death as murder after police initially reported that Evans Fox killed himself. Fox's death was quite the mystery, sparking grief and demand for answers from family members who now appear to be relieved. Following that ruling, his body found in his Dodge Ram truck in bushes off the Frank Watson Boulevard. That's 2 days after he'd been reported missing. Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles, however, is setting the record straight tonight.
We present the evidence that we have at the time. We will not fabricate evidence. We will only present what we have. It's because of the evidence that they may have had at the time. And so the courts have deemed that there is sufficient evidence to now classify that as a homicide. And so we use this opportunity, and I'm asking you to reach out to members of the public who may have information that can assist us in identifying who may have caused his death to come forward so that we can properly solve it.
On to some other news tonight. The University of the Bahamas defending its push for both national and international accreditation, a move leaders say it's critical to the institution's success. But the progress has stirred debate with questions over the alleged removal process. Our Devontae Hanna has the details tonight.
The University of the Bahamas' fight for a Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges accreditation is under fire tonight, as many stand divided on the issue. Ex-UB North Vice President, who was denied presidency in 2022, Ian Strawn, called UB's efforts reeking of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and inferiority complexes, ultimately considering it the most colonial thing the national university could do to seek validation from Americans on higher education in the Bahamas. On the defense, Chair of the Board of Directors Allison Maynard Gibson says UB's effort has been no secret for years.
We've been speaking about that implicitly and explicitly since as far back as 1974, when COB was launched. So Lyndon hinted at it, and every single president and principal of COB and UB since. If you look at in 2016, when the university was launched, accreditation was spoken of then. And for the first time, we actually are now pursuing both national and international accreditation.
The recent discourse surrounding the SACS accreditation stems from an accusation that 29 professors have been removed from the teaching roster due to unfavorable qualifications just 1 week before the official start of the academic school year. Tonight, UTEP President Daniel Thompson denies that has been the case.
Not an issue of persons being qualified to teach at the university. We're talking about people with PhDs from the top schools in the world. So we're not questioning their qualification. What we are saying is that we want to ensure that there is more accurate and proper alignment with the subjects that they teach.
It removes professors who have been teaching some courses for years because it may not align with their certificates. Maynard Gibson is reassuring the process is all a part of the accreditation and the opening of the school year.
So this is nothing different here. Nothing different is happening here. Accreditation involves everybody, every single person in the university, whether it's a custodial team, all the way up to the office of the president. We all, including the board, we are all exposing ourselves to the most rigorous of standards.
Well, tonight, Thompson says while some may not agree with the accreditation process, it is happening, and he argues it is good for all stakeholders, especially the students.
You may or may not agree with it. That is fine, but the university is moving along, and UTEP says it impacts our members, and we must ensure that all changes happen must be to our satisfaction.
Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Including those elements, U.S.-based SACS supporters say this will strengthen UB's reputation and create more opportunities for students. Critics argue it reflects colonial dependency and doesn't align with national priorities. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you think seeking U.S.-based accreditation reflects progress or dependency? 87% of participants voted it reflects progress, putting UB on par with global universities. 12% voting it reflects dependency, noting that it shows a lack of confidence in our own standards. 1% voting that you were not sure. Be sure to continue to participate in our digital daily polls on some very pressing national issues. On to some other news. Prime Minister Philip Davis giving an update on the stalled Grand Union deal, revealing some of the components will begin to take shape in less than 6 months. Back in May, the Davis administration held a heads of agreement signing a partial demolition with Miami-based Concord Wilshire for the redevelopment of the property. However, not much work has taken place since prompting questions from the opposition and other stakeholders. While remaining tight-lipped, Prime Minister Davis says some components will come on stream soon.
The timeline given us will be because of the components. It should be part of the components be up and going by January of next year.
Granting a $30 million loan to the Bahamian government to shore up the country's blue economy. IDB Bahamian representative Shirley Gale says the bank, recognizing the importance of the country's marine environment, supporting efforts to strengthen small and medium-sized businesses that benefit from it, students that are being taught to preserve it, and climate efforts to sustain it were very important.
This loan, entitled Local Sustainability and Development in the Blue Economy of the Bahamas, it represents the optimization of what may be regarded as the country's most significant natural resource, the ocean. That the resources of the ocean support economic activities of various scales. We consider it fitting, therefore, that the government and the IDB should come together to invest in the marine economy that contributes so substantially to the livelihood and way of life of Bahamians.
Well, the government will have 5 years to pay off that loan for which they will be co-part on, meaning they will fund just over $2 million themselves, according to Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis. Prime Minister Philip Davis says the loan will be broken down into 3 parts.
Component 1 is focused on small business support. $17,735,000 will support small and medium-sized enterprises with small loans, grants, and guarantees for developing sustainable tourism, aquaculture, and mariculture initiatives. Under Component 2, $5,050,000 is designated for BAMSI-related activities. And finally, $4,770,000 is allocated for Component 3, which will fund ongoing activities to mitigate the effects of climate change in the Bahamas.
On to some other news. A 25-cent increase in bus fare not yielding the desired results, according to frustrated president of the Bahamas Unified Transportation System, Harrison Moxey, who says bus drivers are left fighting for what's rightfully theirs despite the increase last year. Moxey is emphasizing that it's not the increase bus drivers wanted. Adding insult to injury, he says that an attempt to renew their concerns on the matter has been ignored.
It is an impact because it is an increase, but we still have challenges collecting the difference with the change in many respects. People are still not wanting to pay the full bus fee. And, it would have been easy if it was $2 across the board as we requested, where you could have not had to fight for change and to give change and just keep it across the board for the adults and leave the senior citizens as it is, and the primary school students, and the students in uniform would have been an easier fare collection system for us. But for right now, it still leaves us somewhat disadvantaged. We expect an incremental increase. That did not happen, so they were supposed to go back to the board to review it, and that has not happened. So it's just been all talk for now.
While bus drivers in the Davis administration weren't able to agree on an increase that would take bus fares to $2 for adults, Moxey says officials cannot afford to kick the can down the road any longer, claiming that bus drivers' concerns continue to be shelved even as they're feeling inflationary pressures on their daily lives and in the industry.
We want the $2 increase on adults across the board. I think that would be a very big help for us as an industry. We get the taxi drivers with increase that is more proportionate to their industry, while our expenses, it's like 5 times the cost of owning a taxi. A taxi, you cannot import something from Japan, direct. That would only cost you about $7,000. To get a bus, it'll cost you about $83,000. So when you look at the cost of the cost and the maintenance on it, it's day and night. As bus drivers and owners, we face the same challenges of inflation that the person with the minimum wage, actually experience as well. And minimum wage has gone up, and so we still feel that that's even a position for them to give more. So whenever the fuel goes up, the tariff goes up, everything that goes up also goes up for us. But here we are still dilly-dallying around with a 25-cent increase. That's certainly inadequate. So it's a disappointment.
Meantime, it's a battle on the roads. Taxi drivers and livery operators locked in a growing dispute over fairness. Tonight, Devontae Hanna takes a closer look at what's fueling that clash.
The Livery Drivers Union is tonight denying claims that they are cutting into the livelihoods of taxi cab drivers. Union President Tori Austin revealing this much after the heated allegation was made against them by the taxi cab union.
We are not at war from a livery standpoint with taxis. So I want to clear the air with that. We want to coexist with the taxi drivers.
In an urgent meeting called by Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson last night, Taxi Cab Union President Tyrone Butler had a different tone.
That the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union's members have been abused for too long.
The back and forth stems from weeks prior when taxicab drivers began accusing livery plates of operating near hotels, the airport, and the cruise port, spaces they are not traditionally allowed to operate in. Butler claims it's a decision being made by the powers that be to push taxicab drivers out.
Why in the world is that happening any place else in the world? That the hotel is making a decision on what a livery, and then the bellman is making the decision on whether a taxi driver should get that job. Those things will no longer be happening as long as I'm the president.
On the other hand, Austin claims livery drivers have taken the bad end of the stick.
We only get 1% of the market share. Study shows that the taxi has almost doubled in the last year. So that's probably where their business is going, but it's definitely not going to us.
The TUC president says they are prepared to do what is needed for taxicab drivers to be respected. He plans to do so with the support of all of his affiliates. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, a major airline expected to resume flight services days after a crippling strike. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, Eyewitness News celebrates its 7th anniversary this year, and we're giving back in a meaningful way. We've got the details on that right after this break.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist, they're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubis, $5.48. Shell coming in at $5.50. Esso, $5.56. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, in news from the aviation sector, days after unionized workers at Air Canada launched a strike against the airline company that had severe consequences throughout the region, Aviation Director Dr. Kenneth Romer says the road to recovery could begin as soon as tomorrow, with hopes of flights being stabilized. Frustrated workers, their frustrations boiled over as a result of reported stalled negotiations. This disruption beginning Wednesday, August 13th, and by Saturday, August 16th, all flights to the Bahamas, along with other destinations, were canceled.
We are pleased to confirm that Air Canada has announced that it will gradually resume service today after reaching a mediated settlement with its flight attendants union, allowing customers to once again book and fly with confidence. We do expect a resumption of the airline's scheduled Nassau operations beginning tomorrow. I wish to commend the management and the staff of Nassau Flight Services. They are the agency responsible for facilitating ground handling services for Air Canada, along with the Nassau Airport Development Team and many of our other industry stakeholders who have been assisting displaced passengers and ensuring service recovery over the past few days. We certainly look forward to sustained and expanded service from this very important Canadian market, and we will keep the traveling community updated on any further developments.
Police launching an investigation into the alleged theft of a vessel being docked on Virginia Avenue, just north of Bay Street on Monday. Reports say shortly before 5, a woman told officers that a male known to her took her black and red barge identified as MB 138 without her consent. Investigations are set to be underway tonight. Well, police officers and the way they allegedly handle persons of interest while in custody being put under a microscope tonight. An activist says she's been getting complaints from whistleblowers, and tonight she's not letting their concerns fall to the ground. Our Jose Etienne has the details.
Anti-crime activist Candy Gibson raising concern tonight on alleged acts of police abuse against residents held in custody. And she's reminding authorities of an old phrase that still rings loudly in the courtroom, that those accused are still innocent until proven guilty.
Treat everybody with due care and respect, because you can't expect to treat a person like a monster or beast and then you're looking for a law-abiding citizen upon their release in society.
Gibson says the issue has escalated recently, prompting her to speak out. Her claims conjure up an incident in June of this year when Amir Thompson, a woman accused of murder, claimed that she was subject to inappropriate remarks about her sexuality while in custody. Thompson's attorney also told the courts that a police corporal deliberately slammed the cell door on her client's hand, spraining her left thumb.
Everything is alleged, but at the end of the day, we want persons to know that it's equal rights and justice for us all.
That aside, Gibson is equally worried about what happens after an individual is wanted by police and subsequently taken into custody. She's concerned that there aren't mechanisms in place to restore one's dignity after being cleared of any potential wrongdoing.
If they would have been detained by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, then be given a letter, especially if they were never charged, because any one of us could be brought in for questioning or could be brought in to say assist with a matter. If you have not been charged, give that gentleman or that lady a letter thanking them for assisting the police with their investigation. Go back to the media. Okay, that's one I posted up, but John Doe. After I do investigation, it's no longer John Doe. John Doe is in good standing with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And that's all we're asking.
This as a young woman was wrongfully charged with murder 2 years ago, prompting an apology from authorities after a wave of backlash from outraged residents. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training wrapping up its 2-day administrators conclave under the theme Transformational Leadership, Building Capacity, Raising Standards, and Achieving Excellence. Educators say the event is living up to its theme. Adelano Roker has the details tonight.
Educators from across the country gathered with one goal: to strengthen the public school system through leadership and collaboration. The Prime Minister, Philip Davis, reminded attendees that national success begins in the classroom, applauding administrators and teachers as the backbone of student achievement.
Your role is not always celebrated, but it is critical. You are the ones who set the tune in our schools. You are the ones who support and guide our teachers. You are the ones who stand in the gap when parents are absent, when resources are limited, when communities are struggling. You are the ones who make sure the doors of opportunity remain open. Every story of Bahamian success, whether in business, medicine, sports, or the arts, has a school administrator somewhere in the background.
Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin acknowledged the system's long-standing challenges, but stressed that strong leadership at the school level is crucial to real reform.
We are such tremendous challenges. The pandemic was not helpful. And before that, we had historic issues in education, and then the pandemic. And then you have the fallout that came from that, not just in students, but socially, I mean, even economically. And so the task is challenged.
Among the administrators present, Anatole Rogers High School Vice Principal Lynette Minnis, who described the experience as both informative and encouraging.
Can make a collaborative effort, a team effort, to seek out and search out one another and to find best practices even in what we do as administrators. And so that at the end of the day, our results reflect what we think is a holistic pouring in to our students, our charges, and making them the best that they can be.
As the conclave concluded, it left behind a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to leadership that shapes schools and ultimately the future. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, summer is ending, and in less than 2 weeks, school bells will ring nationwide. Streets will be busier, and stores are now feeling the rush. Our Lorencia Smith stopping into several spots to check in on sales. Here's that report.
It's not the start of a new school year without a new uniform. At Carey's Fabric, Managing Director Kim Gibson says the VAT-free holiday, which started on August 10th, is driving sales up. And despite global challenges like inflation, the store is keeping prices competitive.
Our stock came in a little later than usual, and it cost us a little more, but we decided to absorb those costs and not pass it on to our customers.
Gibson adds that the most popular size this year are boys 16, 18, and 20, and that Carey's provide uniforms and fabric for a majority of the schools across the island, with uniform shirts in high demand.
Popular demand for us is the fact that we have school shirts that have the monograms already on them. A lot of people normally would have to buy a shirt and then have to get it monogrammed. Well, we have the Oxford or cotton shirts, as they're called. We have them with the school logo already on them.
Sales are also taking place at Arambili Park, where vendors were setting up for the last-minute rush. Karen Brown says sales have been slow so far, but expect to pick up as students return to the classroom. According to vendors, they are feeling the impact of shipping delays and rising costs.
Exactly. What has happened, the cost of products have gone up this year tremendously, and you find people want to pay the same price. Unfortunately, we had to increase sale on certain items because of the price going up in the U.S.
Brown shared that vendors will remain on the park until September 2nd to assist those last-minute school needs. Parents can find everything from underwear to backpacks and other essential supplies.
Spray ground, like what you see right here, spray ground, they are asking for spray grounds. We have the Kipling. Trending now also is the Nike Elite bags. We also have some Tommy Hilfiger bags, some Tommy Hilfiger gym bags, and the character backpacks.
Also feeling the rush is Janae's Uniform Center, with the VAT-free holiday running through September 6th. Managing Director Martha Wallace says that staff is working around the clock to meet the demands.
I don't have any issues where the uniforms are concerned this year. Seem to be having is that embroidery and manufacturing. We had to stop them a week and a half ago because of the workload. The shelf, but some persons just want to have them custom made.
And also, she says that sales for the company as it relates to back to school is rebounding from COVID-19.
Actually, manufacturing more size 16 boys this year than normal. But we say to God be the glory because we're a manufacturing company and we can do it in-house. That is shirts, but we still have the demand for the pants. And especially those slim fit pants now, we can't produce enough.
Lorencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
And don't forget to send us all of your back to school pictures on our social media accounts. Well, it's better to give than to receive, and this next story is a testament to that in more ways than you can imagine. Eyewitness News banding together to support Film Director Candy Gibson and her back to school initiative. Janelle Longley has the details tonight.
Usually first on the scene, providing minute-to-minute coverage of the country's major criminal incidents for 7 years now. But it's not a feat Eyewitness News has accomplished alone. Aside from tips, bystanders, and supporters, there have been some community leaders that have played an integral role in keeping us a headline ahead. Like Film Director Candy Gibson.
We've known you from startup to now, and you've come so far, and we're glad to be a part of that process. But you not only call us for the stories, for when you hear the gunshots ring off. Sometimes I call you, I say, that's Spot Shotter. Candy Gibson in my phone is Spot Shotter. Because when something happens, you know, she is the first to call us and let us know what's going on. But beyond that, after the crime scene tape goes away, after our cameras come off scene, after the lives, after the interviews on scene, there's such a tragedy that is left behind. You have so many young children who are impacted by gun violence, some people that we don't think about.
It's on this backdrop that in honor of the company's 7th anniversary, Eyewitness News partnered with the IL Cares Foundation to assist Gibson in outfitting students with uniforms for the upcoming school year, a gift Gibson was overjoyed to accept.
We have so many children that are now mother and fathers, and some both due to murder, and so this will go a long way in helping them go back to school.
The donation is expected to support up to 50 students for back to school. 2 of those to benefit present for the donation collection.
Keon would have lost a mother and father. His father was taken away in 2019 and his mother in 2021. And Jonathan Roll, his father was taken away in 2015.
Gibson has been serving the underserved for over a decade now, often coming out of her own pocket and or resources. She recently obtained Crown land for the building of an official shelter and centers to support her operations, and received donations from government. But today's give back, she pointed out, serves as another reminder that corporate Bahamas has a role to play.
The government cannot just sit back and just continuously point at the government. It takes corporations like Eyewitness News and many others. And we are pleading to the public. These children did not ask to come here, but they're now here. Some lost both parents, some lost a parent to murder, and they need our help. Remember, it takes a village, and I'm asking on everyone in the Bahamas land to come and let's stand with these children, even if just a simple prayer. Just a simple prayer goes a long way, but they need money. They have school, they have Christmas time. These are times when their parents would have normally stepped in. And you may can't even donate monetary. Please volunteer. Please volunteer. Let's get to the act of giving back. Let's give back to our community.
You can get in contact with FOAM to assist with its Back to School initiative or any other upcoming projects at 424-8953 or 603-4141. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Janelle. Well, just in time for the new school year, outgoing Fort Charlotte MP Alfred Sayers hosting a back-to-school initiative for the community, providing students with school supplies, fun activities, and games on Saturday Pass. Sayers describing the event as an exciting opportunity to celebrate with the young students as they prepare to return to the classroom. Now, Sayers, a former education minister, emphasizing the importance of investing in the future of our country.
It's also a time for us to say to the children, to the young people, that we love them and that we are so happy that they had an engaging summer. The reason for back to school is to now give encouragement that we expect that as they proceed with this new school year, we have given them supplies and we expect them to continue their excellent performance. But we also want them to know that we have high expectations for the young people in preschool, in primary school, in junior high and senior high, and that we will, they're the future leaders.
Also lending his support was His Excellency Sebastian Bastian. Speaking with Eyewitness News, Bastian shared that he's been supporting Minister Sayers and the community for years now.
Mr. Alfred says for almost the last decade right now,
He called on us to assist with his back-to-school efforts, and we're here to make sure that the kids are well prepared and they got all the supplies they need, and most importantly, summer is winding down, and we turned it not just in a back-to-school giveaway, but it's also a fun day. So kids are here bouncing on the castles, playing the rides, getting their face painted, and there's a lot of activities. We always try to be a good corporate citizen and help where we can, and make sure that education is one of my strongest passions. So anywhere I can help and contribute, I always step up to that plate.
Well, the Fox Foundation will be holding a back to school tomorrow in the Camp Road community, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Be sure to get your back to school supplies. Well, it won't be back to school without a cup of coffee as you head to get back on the road and in the classroom. Our resident adventurer has a story you don't want to miss right after this break. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Stop, man, stop. Boy, it's hot today, boy. Boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowy. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in that people.
I can inside,
I can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You gonna do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step out the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, Tuesday isn't the only adventure day for our resident adventurer, Laurencia. Truth is, every day is an adventure, and in a fast-paced world of news, it all starts with the right fuel. The newsroom already knows for her that comes with coffee. She has the details in this adventure tonight.
So this is a dream come true for me and Adventures with Laurencia. If you know me, outside of a good adventure, outside of being on the high seas, I love a good cup of coffee, and I love Dunkin'. Yay!
My excitement says it all about this adventure. There's an old saying, while there's my saying, a cup of coffee in the morning, the perfect start to a day filled of news and adventure. And for me, that cup must come from Dunkin' Donuts, and this adventure was a match made in heaven. When I pulled up to the company's newest location on Mullings Drive, I knew I found my homeland. for this adventure. My love affair with coffee runs deep, and crew member Kiara Johnson says she understands why.
I am a big coffee drinker.
Oh, wait. You new to this or you true to this?
I true to this, man. I don't want too much sugar. I like it strong.
I couldn't agree more with Johnson's statement because I like my coffee the same way I like my stories. Somewhat sweet, but always strong. There's often a debate who has the better coffee. Johnson says hands down that crown belongs to Dunkin' Donut. And a fan favorite says it all.
Crunch Colada consists of, I'd say, coffee syrup, sugar, liquid cane sugar, butter pecan syrup, milk. You can get the milk of your choice with whipped cream, and we have our toppings, the Oreo and the Crunch toppings.
Dunkin' Donuts has been a part of the community for a number of years. As a good corporate citizen, it continues to support a number of causes, especially when it comes to youth development and sports. And today, there are 8 locations across the island, from my old faithful on Bernard Road to downtown in the heart of the city, and now their newest kid on the block, Mullings Road. Beyond the coffee, here's what is on the menu board.
Our ham, egg, and cheese, that's a consistent one everybody gets in the morning. Sausage, egg, and cheese, club sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, turkey cheddar bacons. We have every donut flavor that you want. We have glazed cake, chocolate frosting with sprinkles, strawberry, toasted coconut, a personal favorite.
I'm gonna make coffee, guys! I'm so geeked out.
It's time to wrap up my inches and get to work. But first, Johnson shared I had to organize the donuts before I can make my coffee.
Height disadvantage. I gotta get put to work. Time to make some coffee. I didn't wait. And my favorite coffee is a medium iced coffee, almond milk with butter pecan flavor. No cream, no sugar, none of all that fancy. Yeah, from 1 to 2 that.
Straight down.
Oh, straight down. Going drizzle. Ooh, just look at that shop. Oop. I clumsy, man. Just look at that drizzle and coffee. We gonna mix this coffee big. This smell good and all. So I'm not sure where my next adventure is gonna take me, but I know one thing for sure. I'll be running on Dunkin'. Until next time, Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
And that's Laurencia every day, all day, before the caffeine. Stay right with us. Laurencia has a check on sports right after this break.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off tonight in sports, we're on the tennis court. Team Bahamas has secured their second straight win at the 2025 Billie Jean Cup in El Salvador, delivering a clean sweep 3-0 over Suriname. Representing the 242, Sydney Clark, Simone Pratt, Jaleesa Clark, Sophia Ferguson, along with coach Kim O'Kelly. In the first round-robin matchup, Simone Pratt dominated Suriname, completing a 6-0-6-0 shutout in just 36 minutes. The national champion Sydney Clark followed in the first single spot, taking care of business with a 6-2-6-1 straight upset win, giving the Bahamas a 2-0 lead to close out the tie. Coach O'Kelly paired Sydney Clark along with her sister Jaleesa Clark. In doubles, the sisters cruised to a 6-3-6-0 victory, marking Jaleesa's first win in the Billie Jean Cup.
I'm slowly getting more comfortable, feeling the groove as the tournament goes on, so I'm very pleased with the way I performed. I won 6-2, 6-1. I had a few moments where I kind of went in la la land, but I was able to recover. I was able to take any tips or any criticism from my coach as well, to be able to adjust and help me during my match.
Team Bahamas will take on Jamaica tomorrow in final Pool B matchup. Play starts at 11 a.m. And meanwhile, on to the racetrack. Bahamian speedster Lennox Lockhart has made history, becoming the first driver ever to represent the 242 at a major karting tournament. Lockhart claimed the championship at the 2025 U.S. Pro Kart Series Indiana Grand Prix. The young racer dominated the Micro Swift division, racking up 2,007 points and finished fifth overall in 16 laps out of 25 drivers. His fastest lap came in lap 12. His fastest lap came on lap 12, clocking a time of 1 minute 12.860 seconds. This landmark win not only showcased Lockhart's talent, but also puts the Bahamas motocross firmly on the international map. Well, congratulations to Lennox from all of us here at Eyewitness Sports. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Hey guys! The IL Cares Foundation invites you to our Back to School giveaway on August 23rd at the University of the Bahamas, Poinciana Drive entrance. Join us for a day of free school supplies, food, and fun as we help prepare students for a successful school year. We are also going to be on the Family Islands on August 23rd from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All are welcome! So come on down and support the community with IL Cares. At IL Cares, we care.
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller. She speaks to the powers that be at Bahamas Power and Light Company. It's a show you don't want to miss. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Too much talking. The people need relief. That's a direct quote. What is the status of the national energy reform? What's happening on Eleuthera? Cat Island, for example, over the weekend, where residents had a power outage of more than 15 hours, and then again on Monday. Abaco, who too have been experiencing its own power issues. Will these residents get immediate relief by having a credit applied to their August bills, for example? That's a question y'all want to know the answer to. My team and I have been monitoring all the rows in the WhatsApp groups and your many requests. So tonight, your questions will be answered. This evening, I am joined by BPL's Senior Executive Management, led first by the Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, BPL's Chairman, Christina Alston, and BPL's CEO, Tony Seymour. Together, we will get to the bottom of the lingering issues that have been plaguing several family islands, where the power have been going out, where residents have been suffering under sweltering heat. And the most important question for many of you, when will BPL keep the lights on? And of course, will your electricity bill reflect what's been happening in the last several weeks? It's all straight ahead this evening on Beyond the Headlines. Good evening, I'm Shanique Miller. Welcome to this very special edition of Beyond the Headlines. We have taken this conversation out of the studio and brought it here directly into the heart of the matter, the headquarters of the Bahamas Power and Light. The issues facing BPL demand answers, and so we have come here to get them. To the decision makers, the power brokers, and those who hold responsibility for the company's future. These challenges are not new. We know that. They are decades old, but they remain no less aggravating, frustrating, and deeply vexing for the Bahamian people. Tonight, we're asking the tough questions and pressing for the solutions the public deserves. And so this evening, we'd like to welcome to the show Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis. Good evening to you, Minister Davis. It's good to have you. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I tell you, you have been doing so much heavy lifting with all of this. I know you've seen the screams coming out of Eleuthera, the cries in Cat Island, and the rows from Abaco. Minister, perhaps you want to begin right there in addressing maybe what's been happening. I know we're going to speak later in tonight's show to the CEO who will specifically talk about those things, but just what's been happening?
Yes, so Shanique, first let me say that I understand the plight of our family islanders specifically and the challenges that they have been experiencing. What I did when I first got the role of Minister in Energy and Transport, I tried to be as transparent as possible with the Bahamian people because I wanted them to go on this journey with us and understand why energy reform is so important and also critical to our country's development, but also to the well-being of our citizens, our consumers at BPL, who are very important to us. Yes. We've been doing a lot of heavy lifting. What we've been challenged with is trying to address the present concerns that we see on our systems, on our engines, mostly age-old equipment that need heavy work. Some of them actually just needs to be brought offline with newer ones replacing it. And so that evidence has shown itself in the increase in the heat and increase in the demand. Yes. And so for the most part, we've seen some of the challenges creep forward, but we've also had our teams responding right away, trying to address it right away. And where we have situations would take a little longer for the response, it's because we have to get parts or piece of heavy equipment shipped over from New Providence to those islands, most of them having to go on mail boats. And so it takes a little longer for us to address it, those larger concerns. And that's what we would have seen over in Cat Island over the weekend, but we did get our replacement engine over there on the weekend. And now you're seeing the change out of the one that was giving us problems and putting that one online on the system. Those challenges are being responded to by our teams who have been on the ground and doing the heavy lift. Many of those places haven't experienced the level of issues that we've seen because we don't know when those engines would have issues. We do maintenance, we do checks, but as the demand grows, as it gets hotter summers, we see challenges that we did not have as part of our plan.
And that is why this journey, this historic journey, by the way, that you have embarked on and this Davis administration has embarked on is so important.
Very
I
important.
want to commend you for being so transparent because also historic. We are here where we've never been. You all are seeing, and you will further get an explanation of what this room is. This is the core of BPL, what this room is later in tonight's show. So you want to sit and stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the fact that you mentioned Cat Island that experienced that marathon outage. These systems are as old as independence.
Age old systems. And while we have challenges and we know that many of our consumers are frustrated, I also try to use, when I speak about the challenges, the ones that we are working hard to remove, that they're just history, I also try to commend the staff of BPL, because I always make the case that just being a consumer, I did not even realize what they were working with. So even within themselves, they are doing a heavy lift because they're keeping systems alive, which by their book, by their lifeline, is actually long dead and gone, should have been gone. Some of the systems, the engineers that are being trained now have never seen, did not know they're still operating. It's so out of date, right? That the engineers that are coming on stream from all over the world globally, and we've heard this from US and UK Canadian trained engineers, they haven't seen them, but our guys, our engineers, our technicians keep them working. They know how to keep these systems working. They know how to keep us powered up despite their own personal challenges. And so I always try to commend them, but that's why I try to be transparent. That's why I thought it was important even for us to record the show here in BPL, in the Generation Control Center, because people need to hear, understand, but also see that not only do we have the present challenges, but BPL has to go through the type of transformation that we're taking it through. They must go through the type of transformation because our guys are doing overwork with the systems that they still have to keep alive.
Yeah, this is really important, because what you all have attempted to do is what many administrations, I'm saying successive governments have said, listen, we need to get BPL sorted out. By the way, another thing to commend you on, in New Providence, and I know we're in the middle of summer, but I'll say this, in New Providence, there's been, to date, right now, the 19th of August, 2025, minimum, I mean, if any at all, load shedding. So obviously something that you all are beginning to do, and the wheels are in motion to get problems, age-old problems addressed.
So that's also a part of our efficiency program that we've instituted. Our new CEO will talk a little bit more about that, but how we even roll out our engines when the demand is lower, relying heavily on our more efficient engines that use less fuel but still can spread the demand. Demand being quite high in our summer months because of the heat, we lean more on the older engines, but we still can roll them out on a schedule that allows us to keep the demand and be able to provide the power and minimize as much as we can any load shedding. But I also want to speak to, when I became Minister of Energy, another thing that I was very transparent about was the debt that BPL is in, that $500+ million. And that is something that I have to continue to talk about. Because of that debt alone, we had to seek support from our partners. And that's why you would hear us talk about independent power producers coming under power purchase agreements, because the type of transformation
didn't understand it and made a big deal about it.
So let's tie in. So the $500+ million that is BPL's debt restricts it from making the type of transformation over administrations, the type of transformation you would have need to see in BPL, that debt along with the cost. So it's going to be about $1 billion+
to do exactly what
we're doing.
Needs to be done.
And the timeline that we have to do it. Energy is the most talked about topic globally. It is. The world has put an extreme demand on governments across the board.
And the world, or governments around the world, are grappling as well with exactly what you are grappling with.
Government, every conference I go to, I get an opportunity to speak to other ministers of energy, and you hear the situations that they are challenged with in their countries. We share ideas across the table to say, well, maybe you can look at this, maybe. So where we're going in the Bahamas, we're advancing the technology, but we're also opening the door for other advanced technology to come in. And once you begin to open that door, you can see reliability, you will see affordability, and you will see resiliency, because you are now putting BPL in a position where they can move off of something faster and say, let's try this. We've checked it, we've researched it across the board. It's working in this country or that country, and it's keeping the cost down. It's reliable, it's resilient. So let's look to that technology. So moving to LNG. That's a transitional fuel. That isn't one that you have to stay on, but that helps you to transition your engines, your expertise, your technicians to be able to experience working with a cleaner fuel, and then going to renewables on a larger scale, solar, battery storage. That's important for us to see happening in the Bahamas, because we would have heard it, we would have seen some independent persons put solar on their rooftops, incorporate battery in their homes. We see a lot of EV cars. And so the world is moving to incorporate renewable in every area and every facet of life. And so having BPL lead that in a greater way across our islands, it becomes a benefit to not only our consumers, but the transformation that we need to see in BPL. And that's important. And that cost is now going to be borne by our independent power producers, which helps us to get there faster.
You know, I think this is the best I've ever heard it explained of why those independent power producers are necessary. One, the debt that's been around for decades of BPL that's now amounted to over 500 million, and then what it will cost this company to be able to do what needs to be done. You needed to have these partnerships. Now, let's talk about what's historic about this. Again, this issue is not a new one. Many governments have addressed it, tried to address it. Many governments have stumbled and bucked their toe and failed truly particularly in summer periods. Your administration, the government that you're a part of, have decided to say, you know what? Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's even going to be a bit chafing, but let's attempt to do this. We have to do it because of the growing demands in everywhere, Eleuthera and all the other islands that have fast growing economies now. What was that decision like to say this is what we can do?
So two things I want to talk about. We've been working at this from the day I took from before that, because this has been a part of the Davis administration, and I joined to continue on the work. The Prime Minister tabled a document, Securing Our Energy Future. And in that document, he was very clear, very transparent that we are going all the way with this energy transformation. But a part of that is going to have some, challenges, because we have to move at a certain pace to meet the investment demand that we're seeing on our family islands, but also to address some of the age-old challenges that our people are still experiencing from time to time. And so the Securing the Energy Future, that document laid out exactly what we're doing. We also advanced updating our energy policy, our national energy policy, because that speaks to moving to advanced technology, upgrading our grid, and being able to put ourselves in a position where we're responding to the 21st century. But then look at our investors. When our investors come, they expect that their projects would be able to get powered up so they can get going and begin making their money back into what they've invested. And so our family islands investments are moving at a speed that we've never seen before. And that's great for our economy. That's great. But then it's a double edge, because now we have to catch up with those investors. We have demands that are present now in Eleuthera, in Harbor Island, in Cat Island, and across the board, Exuma, Abaco, but also those demands expect that when I come and say BPL, I need to get on. I need about 10 megawatts to be secured for this large project that I've built, this hotel or this marina or this, that, and whatever. It needs us to be able to respond. So what's been happening is we've now created a medium of communication through all entities. So BPL is at the table so we can begin to prepare, so we can understand what level of demand will come on our system as soon as this investment project is done. But the challenges that presently exist still has to be addressed. Absolutely. So you would hear more from our chair talking about the teams that we've incorporated inside of BPL to do prep work, to prepare for transforming our T&D systems on our family island, which is still 100% owned by BPL. And so our transmission and distribution system is important to upgrade that. It's important to address those challenges. In Harbor Island, we did some work on our T&D, load balancing was one of our main challenges. That means that we're seeing demand load pull from one section, and the system wasn't able to respond as fast as possible.
Talk about, even though the chairman will join us a little bit later in tonight's show, let's just talk about the fact that you have almost done and made right what was wrong in Harbor Island and have moved on now to mainland Eleuthera.
Okay, so our team in Harbor Island addressed many of the challenges. We've had those generators that sat there before we brought them online for some years. So we were leaning heavily on our rental generation units. Those were having a number of challenges, and unfortunate for BPL, we were taking the brunt of what was happening, but those engines are managed and maintained under a rental agreement by the owner. And so unless their technicians come and respond to some of the challenges, we are faced with trying our best to maintain the demand as best as we could until they fix that. If one of them break down, that means we're not providing the total amount of demand that Harbor Island is asking us for. So for instance, if Harbor Island is asking us for 9 megawatts and we have 2 of those break down, that means we only could provide 7 megawatts. So we have to get them in Harbor Island and fix those engines in enough time to bring back on the 2 megawatts that we lost from those engines being down. Now we have our own engines online, which our guys went over and worked on them. But then when we got that efficiency there, you begin to see other problems. So then you see issues with our transmission and distribution system and our substation with the load. And so we have to balance that load and make sure that it can respond, but it's balanced. It's not pulling so much from one side and the other side is being challenged or affected by it not being balanced. And so I'd allow the CEO, the chair, to be able to explain more the particulars of what our technicians done. But that hasn't been done in however long. And that was the case of investments coming on, needing power, needing a particular amount of demand, and our system not being updated to be able to respond to that demand. So as soon as you connect and turn them on, you begin to see, well, this is way more than we have put in a transformer to take, and so we have to upgrade this area and balance the load.
And it is said that Harbor Island is now smiling, and of course we know it's one of smiling.
We continue to work to make sure it's a consistent smile.
Exactly. That's the thing. But of course, once again, you know, Eleuthera is booming and developing at rapid pace, and so it's good to really see that. You guys, I hope you're getting it. You're working through. You understand that this right here is the part of this transparency, to be as honest as possible with you, so that you understand what's happening, and also that, listen, it's a little chafing right now, but BPL, led by this minister and her team, her executive team, of whom you will see coming up another member after this break, are really moving to help get this thing right and get it right the first time. The first time, and the first time, and all this is happening in this reform, and you're trying to do it right the first time.
Well, really, Shanique, it's because we have to respond to the present and also prepare for the future. And so that's the heavy lifting
and
within
that's another
itself.
thing too. You're not to answer what needs to be answered to now.
No.
The fact that you're envisioning what's this and further expansion.
Correct. And this is what the Prime Minister continues to speak about. We can no longer do the patchwork with BPL. We can no longer just patch up the problem that happened now. When we see it, we have to go and address it so it could be contained for the future load or demand that comes on the system. And so everything we're doing now, we're intentional. We're not just saying, oh, this little thing, this little issue, let's grab it, fix it, and go on with our business. We're looking deeper into this issue. Well, what else is it the system not showing us in the front that may be happening in the back? And so we're trying to get ahead of what else is to come in terms of the boom and the investment, but also address the present challenges.
Minister, it's great to hear that there's a vision, a real vision attached to all this that you're doing, with great foresight as well. Thank you so much, Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, who is the Minister of Energy, opening up this show and this discussion for you to really have you brought into BPL, literally brought into BPL, and have an understanding of what's happening. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this break. Stay close.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Join Janae's Ready for School block party going on all day today. Get up to 20% off. Yes, up to 20% off store-wide. Restrictions apply. Lots of giveaways and surprises for the kids. If you've not found that monogram shirt yet, we may have it in stock or can monogram it for you. What about school neckties, underwear, hair bubbles, socks, school bags, raincoats, and sleeping mats? Join Janae's Chesapeake Road Ready for School block party today. Extended store hours, 7 p.m. today only. Janae's Ready for School block party is today. Save on those school last-minute items. Special discounts up to 20% today only.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. And now, get max strength topical pain relief precisely where you need it with Tylenol Precise.
I can clean your teeth, but I can't wash your whole mouth.
Yes, we're toothbrushes, not mouth brushes.
Listerine works with brushing to deliver 5 times more cleaning power, plus it contains clinically proven essential oils.
For whole mouth health, Listerine. Wash your mouth.
Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school.
They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas.
At Carrie's, find skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boy shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, and more.
You can even have your uniform skirts custom made.
Check out our selection of embroidered cotton shirts.
That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street.
Call us at 393-0758 or 817-0758.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. Feel like velvet rubbing over my skin. And when your
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
If you're just joining us, welcome back to Beyond the Headlines in this special edition of Beyond the Headlines here in somewhere we have never been. This is a key point at BPL and the overall operations. Of course, we will get a further explanation of that as we continue in this show, but we are talking specifically for residents in Eleuthera and Cat Island and Abaco and what's been happening on those islands. And I am very, very happy, of course, at the top of the show, you heard the Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, speak about some things, speak about policy, speak about the fact that this is all historic. This whole transformation of BPL, this modernization, this upgrade of what's been happening and what's been in place for decades now, and of course, the work that's in progress. Well, we are going to, in this segment, turn to the chairman of the Bahamas Power and Light Company, Christina Alston. Ms. Alston, I thank you very much for joining me. You've been on the show quite a number of times and speaking to the Bahamian people, being very open, very candid. And I'll tell you this, Bahamians more than ever right now want you to be just that, open, candid, and speak to them about what's happening with the power grid, what's happening that many islands in particular continue to suffer. There's no better way to put that than say suffer. Let's just talk about, first, even before we start, and the CEO will be joining us shortly, and she will really explain what this room is. But this room is very, very important for monitoring the entire nation, yes?
Well, it's funny that you say exactly that. This is actually the Generation Control Center. This is where we actually monitor the generation in New Providence. But to your point, as we move with our grid transformation, the points from the Family Islands will actually come into that, and that's a part of our grid modernization. That's not something that we can see now, but when we go through our grid modernization, we will actually be able to pull in all of the generation assets from the Family Islands into this room as well. And that'll give an opportunity for the operators to see exactly what's going on at all times. And the way we're going about that is we're putting in microgrids and hybrid microgrids into the Family Islands. And those are just big words for small generation facilities.
So that each island, it doesn't experience what several islands are experiencing right now.
Well, we have two facets. Always remember, we've got the generation and we have the transmission and distribution. And each of those, they work together to supply energy. One of the things that we're very particular about in this season is we've talked a lot about solar and making sure that when we bring solar onto the grid, that the grid is ready. And that's a huge part of the transformation that we're going through in New Providence as well. We've actually already cleared over by Blue Hills Power Station for the utility scale solar to tie into the grid there. But it's really...
What is the timeline for that? Because let's pause right there. See, because the people need to understand. I'll tell you, I'm in several groups, especially those Family Island groups. Persons from Abaco, several of them hit me up almost daily. Eleuthera, the same thing. And so people want to really understand what you're saying. So already this thing is moving. Because we keep hearing about, the energy reform. People say, well, where it is, Lord? Where is reform in this energy that we've been hearing about? Let's talk about where that is. Already New Providence is in motion with that.
It's already in motion. And a part of those was the actual upgrading of the grid. I want to point out that you made a very good point. It's not just the Bahamas that's talking about energy. Everywhere you go right now, people, all they talk about is energy and energy reform and how the energy sector is working. I don't care what group you're in. I don't care where you are in the world. Everyone is talking about energy. You may recall that there was a very large outage and that took out in April that took out all of Spain, all of Portugal, and the southern France. And much of that was attributed, they were sitting at 85% renewables at the time, and they couldn't get their generators up online in order to react, and they lost the entire country. So it's not just the Bahamas that is talking about energy and energy reform, it's the whole world. There's pressure being put on the energy sector now in a way that we've never seen. People are using energy in ways that we could not have even imagined. One of the biggest things is things like data centers and AI. I read somewhere that every time you ask AI a question, someone actually calculated how much it costs and how much water it uses to ask that question. And that's just not something that we had considered before, even three years ago. That was not something. So when we talk about energy reform, one of the things I think is very important when in our area right now, we are going to be bringing in $1.75 billion worth of infrastructure is what is being spent in the Bahamas through our energy reform programs.
What does that mean exactly?
So what that means...
How does that look in Cat Island right now?
So in Cat Island, we have a a PPA, with an independent power producer, and they will be bringing on new engines, solar, and batteries to serve that island. So not only will they have the ability to have a renewable energy source, but we'll be able to create a system that effectively will be very resilient in making sure that they actually stay on in that space. So one of the things that's really important is we have to balance the solar with the battery energy storage, with the engines that are on the ground to have an optimal system.
Yes. Now let's go back to energy reform, because I'll tell you, initially when it was announced, I believe it was sometime last year by the Minister of Energy, Jo Beth Colby Davis. Listen, the nation applauded. Everybody was happy. Let's break that down and explain that, because again, people want to know, and I was happy you mentioned that. Listen, New Providence is already having this solar just ready to tie into the system. Let's understand that better.
So it's a very complex and complicated system. I think one of the things that you and I would have discussed, people turn on that switch, and what all goes into turning on that switch, there's a lot of complexity that goes into that technology. It is a very, very unique system where we have all of these islands that are not connected. But more importantly, when you say, what is the pathway? So the first thing we had to do was send out a request for proposals. And once we went through all of that, then there was actually selection of the technology and selection of the independent power producers, negotiating the best rate. Right now, almost all of our independent power producers are in the procurement phase. So they're procuring the materials that they're going to be bringing on island. So they're procuring engines, they're procuring solar, they're procuring all of the things that they need to mobilize to start construction.
And this is on each island where these
microgrids
are being installed.
Yes.
So things are happening then, because we get the impression, especially, my God, in the heat of summer, that you think it's hot. Because the thing is, many people on the family islands, if you have ever been to the farm, and you're an Eleuthera girl, aren't we all? And the CEO, right, as well, right? Long Island. As I was saying, we've been, we know the island's just it's something extra going on in terms of heat.
Right.
And so things are happening now. Persons are out there making procurements, meaning purchasing then, ensuring that they have what's needed to begin putting in place to, again, as well, get this engine moving in the direction it should.
They're cutting their purchase orders. We've settled on specifications for equipment, because one of the things that we've done is we wanted to make sure that we learn from all of the other countries that have gone through this to make sure that our transition is smoother. We're wanting to make sure that we're balancing the solar with the batteries, with the engines, to make sure that the system works as well as it can. And we call that resiliency. So reliability and resiliency go hand in hand. And so let me just break that down a little bit. Reliability is the goal. That's how much we want you to stay on. Resiliency is exactly that, how resilient any one solution is in meeting that particular goal. And so we have basically gone through and selected the most robust and resilient solutions to meet the goals of reliability that we want to achieve. So reliability is the goal, and resiliency are how we meet those goals. You know, each one has a structure. So I always liken it to, like, okay, so if I want to lose 30 or 40 pounds, so that's the goal. The goal is for me to lose weight, but there are many ways for me to get there. So I can fast, I can just diet, I can run, I can take Ozempic, I can do any amount of things to get me to my goal, but each one of them may not be as resilient as the other. Which one of those is a permanent solution? So when we talk about resiliency, what we're looking for is the permanent
solution.
Right.
This is good.
Yes.
So that we don't ever be at this place again in the Bahamas.
Well, and that's the whole point. We want to make sure that we pick the right solution so that we can get to the goal.
Are we looking at the right solution?
Absolutely.
Do they include for example, LNG, solar, battery, that type thing?
Yes, they do. And so let me tell you how those three things interplay. So LNG, those are what we call prime power units, meaning that they're on 24 hours a day. So that's where you use your fuel. That's your LNG. The next one is the solar, and we've talked about this. In the Bahamas, we have about 1,500 hours of solar irradiance. And remember, we had mentioned that there were 8,760 hours in a year. And so you say, well, you got 1,500 hours of solar, but you need 8,760 of generation. Well, the LNG then bridges that gap between the solar and the full
So
prime
each
generation.
one kind of sort of come in and play their role
Exactly.
just to add to the overall picture.
That's exactly right.
The overall goal.
Right, because
of resilience.
That's right.
You know what, Chairman, this probably you all understand that in Eleuthera? Because you all been having it. You all really have been. I thank you for kind of just simplifying it that way, that this is number one, what's going on. This is what's happening right now as we speak with the persons who are responsible for these various islands and keeping power on, power generation, and of course, including things like LNG, solar, and battery, so that to keep this whole engine moving.
That's right. And battery energy storage is a very important part of the conversation, because one of the things is the battery is the fastest reacting component on our system. And it can actually help make sure that it stabilizes. I call it like the bridge. The battery is basically the bridge between the solar and the system to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So it's not just keeping the power on, but actually making sure that the quality of the power that you're receiving is of high quality.
This is good to know. This is excellent. Now, where is each island in terms of its journey in getting there?
Well, some islands are quite ahead. So Eleuthera and Abaco are first out the gate. Their independent power producer, as I would have said, has already put in their purchase orders. They know exactly what it is they're needing to buy. Their design is complete. Our owner's engineer is overseeing, making sure that everyone has their milestones. And the owner's engineer is an engineering firm that was hired specifically by the government of the Bahamas to manage all of these projects in terms of time frame. That way, if there was a milestone that was being missed, we would know right ahead. It protects us. They're like our insurance to make sure that the independent power producers and all of the vendors and all of the work that's being done is being done on a timely fashion. So it's very important to have an owner's engineer. So not only that, but they are working with us to make sure BPL is ready as well. So one of the things that BPL has to do is we have to make sure that we're ready when the independent power producers are ready, and that makes sure we have a seamless transition.
So explain that, please. What is BPL also doing at this moment as well to ensure that it's ready to receive what they produce once everything is in place?
That's an excellent question. So BPL has formed a microgrid team, which is a team of individuals who sit within the organization. And so now what they're doing is they're starting to look at what needs to happen on the ground to make sure that BPL is ready to receive the energy.
For example, what took and the temporary measures that are put in place has nothing to do with this more permanent measures.
Actually, they're going hand in hand, because one of the things that we're wanting to make sure is that we don't spend money twice. So if there are some things that we can do to make sure that we're ready for the independent power producers now, we're doing that now as well. So if there are upgrades that have to happen, we're monitoring those upgrades to make sure that those facilities that we're upgrading will interface with the work that we're doing now.
Now, Ms. Alston, let's talk about something that's also quite unique and historic in this whole overall energy reform, and that is BPL and its partners are also at this very moment as well putting in place an interactive sort of measure that anybody anywhere across this nation will be able to go and do what?
So you'll be able to go actually at any point in time through the BPL website and see exactly how much solar is being generated in Cat Island, how much solar is being generated in San Salvador. For any of us who are in the green space, we find that very exciting because we want solar and we want to know what the solar is doing. You'll be able to see what the engines are doing. You'll be able to see the health of the system. You'll be able to look and see how much solar has been produced over time, so that if you're keeping track with us meeting our goals, you'll be able to see that. And you can actually touch each island as you go along and interactively see the battery energy storage systems. You'll actually be able to go on there as well and learn a little bit about the technology that's being implemented in terms of if there's something new and exciting, you'll be able to learn about it on that interactive board. And I think it's going to be a real way for people to see and our consumers to see exactly how far and how transformative this new energy era is going to be for us.
That's good. It's quite sounds transformative already, and the whole aim is to achieve what that they are just more aware. That
so there's been such a emphasis put on renewable generation, but we have to do renewable generation that is responsible. And so there are several international standards that tell us exactly how much renewable generation you can put on the system at any point in time. And so for us, we want to make sure that we're being respectful in terms of not only acknowledging that we're putting renewable generation, but also making sure that that renewable generation is used in conjunction with the whole system.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you all got a lot of information in this segment because this entire show was planned specifically for you and the nation, really, but really to also answer those questions that many of those islands who are now feeling the pinch or maybe the darkness. Maybe that's a better, I don't know. I was trying to come up with something real neat. By the way, I want to know as we go to this break, is there going to be some credit offered to any of one of the chairmen can answer that. But listen, we will perhaps put that question to the CEO. Like that, eh? You like that better? To the CEO when we come back. This is Beyond the Headlines. We are in the command center here at BPL, the control center of which I am being corrected. But this is quite historic for us. I mean, you have never seen this room. I've never seen this room. And it really is all to be as transparent as possible so that you understand what's happening here at BPL. It's not just talk. It's a whole lot of action that's happening as well. And also to, again, keep us all with the lights on. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
We have to be mindful that as much as we want touristic development, what impacts the fishery? Over-coastal development, destruction of mangroves, overzealousness of the industry. We have a new movement called do-it-yourself fishing. That is anglers who come to the Bahamas, they don't engage in hiring a guide. Because of this approach, you are going to have people who are going to exhaust the resources.
This is an industry that's preserved. It should be for Bahamian guides only. We have the DIYs coming in here and they're destroying our flats.
We try not to overfish certain areas, so we'll fish a certain area and we'll back off for a while because we don't want the fish to feel too much pressure.
It's not just using the buzzwords of the environment and the ecology. The tourists can be educated that the more you support local ownership, people are doing it obviously the right way, the more the economic circulation in the communities.
I think the most critical thing is accountability, and that accountability by way of legislation, both the Act and regulations to govern fly fishing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
I look at conservation efforts and the regulation that I've seen to protect the industry that's in the developed world. All of those jurisdictions have implemented strong regulation to protect their fisheries. We are way behind, but we do have a movement and a consciousness. We know where we need to be. Those are our resources, and we have to make an exerted effort to protect it because that's the only gift that we have been given. And if we don't protect that, then we lose everything.
Building the lodge, I understood clearly the mission to continue what my father started. From this lodge, it has served as the headquarters. We finally got legislation passed in 2016, and it legitimized the guiding profession. We pushed to get the program established into BAMSI in the training of the next generation of guides, but it extends way beyond that.
We need more Bahamians in the industry who are doing the research to provide the information to the industry, that is to fishermen and to everybody who benefits from the resources.
We don't know the resources in this country.
And to everybody who benefits from the resources.
We don't know the resources in this country. We grew up just hearing about sun, sand, and sea.
It is going to be through education and awareness, whether it's within our schools, whether it's in our communities, to conserve the environment, that is going to sustain the fly fishing industry.
Well, the future of fly fishing in the company, I think fly fishing is a very, very unique spot. I think it's going to all certified, they're all getting proper knowledge of handling and how to run the whole system.
If you're a youngster and you want to get into this, it's a job like any other job. You got to live it, you got to love it.
Young entrepreneurs coming in, you want that kind of interest, you want that kind of drive and desire. You want to carry that, you want to become the product.
Hey guys! The IL Cares Foundation invites you to our Back to School giveaway on August 23rd at the University of the Bahamas, Poinciana Drive entrance. Join us for a day of free school supplies, food, and fun as we help prepare students for a successful school year. We are also going to be on the Family Islands on August 23rd from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All are welcome! So come on down and support the community with IL Cares. At IL Cares, we care.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to this special edition of Beyond the Headlines. We are in the Generation Control Center here at BPL headquarters, really getting to the root of the problem of what's been happening on several islands, about power generation, about the power outages. And you've never seen it like this before. You've never been here before. Beyond the Headlines has never been here before. And it's all really to be as open with you as possible and to get you the answers to the many questions that you have. Joining me in this segment is CEO at BPL, Tony Seymour. Good evening to you. It's great to have you here. Thank you for being a part of this discussion that the nation really is looking forward to, has been looking forward to, and is quite happy is happening.
Good evening and welcome to BPL.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. First of all, let's just talk about where we're at. I hear that this is the Generation Control Center. I know at the top of the show during the segment with Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis, we heard some stuff happening. In fact, that we're hearing something right now. Where is he getting reports from somewhere?
Yes, so this is the heart of our generation operation. As you know, in New Providence, we have a power station, a Blue Hills Power Station off Blue Hill Road, and the Clifton Fair Power Station. This room monitors every engine on the island at every location. So he can see exactly which engines are online, how much load is on the engines, how much fuel they're using. We even track the cost of fuel per engine, so we know which engines are more efficient in terms of fuel consumption, etc. And so he will get updates from all of the power stations if there's an issue, or if he sees that the load is starting to increase, he will call one of the power stations and say, hey, can you adjust your frequency? Can you add another unit onto the system?
So this is a 24-hour operation.
Yes,
where the monitoring is happening and you're trying to your best to keep every engine where it's supposed to be,
right.
So that there is no load shedding, power outages, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Is there such a thing for the Family Islands in this room as well?
Not at this time. The Family Islands are not connected here yet. Mm-hmm. They each have their independent control rooms. Okay. However, as we move to the newer technology with the microgrid installations and the like, it is expected that everything will feed right back here So whoever is sitting in this room has a nationwide view of every engine, every solar farm, every microgrid, etc.
Before we get to Ms. Seymour, to what's been happening on Eleuthera, for example, or even Abaco, most recently Cat Island. Let's just talk about very briefly. I understand there is a bit of success. BPL is working not just here in New Providence with limited load shedding this summer to date, but you have a success story that's already emerging on Eleuthera.
So every island has its unique challenges, and there are always growing pains. And Eleuthera is growing by leaps and bounds. So the load on Eleuthera is increasing. We've done a lot. We have 6 megawatts of rental generation in Harbor Island, in addition to our 5 megawatts of BPL-owned generation on Harbor Island itself. We have 6 megawatts of rental generation at our Hatchet Bay power plant. And we recently just sent an additional 4 megawatts of generation to the Rock Sound plant that is currently being installed and commissioned. So we expect to have that up and running by the middle of next week, I would say, to bring some sustained relief to the residents of Eleuthera. We know that they've suffered. We feel their pain. You know, I am a Family Island girl. I grew up in Long Island without electricity. So I understand the pain that our Family Islanders feel when the electricity supply is not stable and not consistent. And that is something that we're working aggressively to address across all of the islands. The same thing in Cat Island. We understand that they have experienced quite a number of challenges. We just sent a new engine there that's currently being placed in the plant to be installed and commissioned. So we have technicians working around the clock on all of these islands to bring long-term solutions to the pain that they've been feeling.
I know Abaco is among those islands as
yes.
well that has been having issues, and residents informed me that especially the areas that were having real issues, that you have also sent added power megawatts there as well.
We have. We're currently commissioning a generator on Manawaki. We're sending 2 trailer units to Hopetown. I know the residents of Hopetown are feeling a little antsy because the generator that was there, we had to move to the mainland to do some repairs, so they're not seeing it there. So they may feel as though, you know, we're taking it away from them, but I can assure you we're sending it back. We're sending 2 back to meet the demand. Hopetown is one of the fastest growing keys. The load is, you know, growing rapidly. And we're also sending a unit to Guana Key to alleviate some of the issues that they face there. And that will relieve some of the strain on the Wilson City Power Plant, which feeds the mainland Abaco and all of the keys. So with the keys having their own rental, well, not rental, sorry, these are BPL-owned generators. With the keys having their own generation, if there is an issue, like a cut in the submarine cable, for example, or if there is an issue at the Wilson City Power Plant, we can supply them with electricity from their independent power stations.
So this is, it's all coming together, and it's quite technical. It's not as easy as the average layman would want it to be. But the thing that is happening, and we are gathering here this evening, is that BPL is coming together. BPL, out of necessity, had to go and seek partnerships to be able to get some things done, and those things are beginning to come together nicely and seamlessly.
Yes, and there's a plan in place. The government has the National Energy Policy. We're moving into our new energy era, as we like to call it. But in the meantime, while these projects are, you know, in the beginning stages, we are still shoring up our generation to make sure that we can sustain the power supply until these microgrids, until the renewable energies come on stream.
And so, Ms. Seymour, BPL's workers have really stepped up, and they have been a part of this heavy lift. And of course, while the reform is ongoing and happening, they have been stepping in to keep the power on.
So one of the things that we've done is we launched the One BPL initiative, which was an objective to kind of build staff morale, to make all of the staff feel more included, especially in the Family Islands. And I would say that it has been a huge morale booster. Motivated staff are productive staff.
Yes.
You know, and so they go above and beyond to keep the lights on because they don't want to go home to their power being off. They live
They
where
too are consumers,
they
right?
are consumers. They live where they work. And I know my mom lives in Long Island, and every time the power goes off in Long Island, I get that call. Hey, hi, it's hot, it's dark. You know, what are y'all doing? And they have families on the ground as well. So,
because once ago, before you all really started talking to the public, we were under the impression y'all, number one, y'all were somehow disconnected. Y'all didn't know, y'all didn't care. You were saying that you care about every complaint. I saw someone in Eleuthera say, man, people got to go this after midnight this morning. People got to go to work. They don't understand. You can't even sleep to rest to go to work. BPL pays attention to each of those. Is there some response center that says, listen, you all, I just want y'all to bring this to your attention as we continue to try and answer each of these persons?
So we do have the BPL call center where you can call and log your complaints. And we have contact numbers on every island where customers can call and log an outage, because there's not every time that an outage may be an entire feeder. It may just be that a cutout blew on your particular corner and 3 homes, 3 a corner may be off. So we would not log that in the control center, for example. You would have to call us and say, hey, I live through this corner, my power is off, my neighbor's lights are on. I get that all the time. And so we have to send out the team to investigate, to do repairs, and to get you restored. It is not in our best interest to have your lights off for an extended period of time. And we want to supply the reliable electricity that we know that the Bahamian people deserve, and we are working, every single one of us are working every day to make that a reality.
Madam CEO, can you give the residents, particularly of those islands that have been quite vexed this month in particular, and Eleuthera perhaps for several, maybe some good news about how their bills will look for the month of August?
So we did offer a rebate in Eleuthera a few months back when it was, a pretty rough time for them. And we are seeking to do the same thing for the other islands affected as well. So it was a 50% rebate on the base rate. There's nothing that we can do about the cost of fuel. The cost of fuel is
that's the next
what
question.
it is.
She must know where the next question going, because everybody's saying, what BPL, what is this fuel surcharge about? In fact, I think Grand Bahama Power and Light is also having an issue with this fuel surcharge. We're talking about their bills that they're talking about, but they're also talking about their fuel surcharge.
During the summer months, we have to run all of our generating units. In New Providence, as I mentioned previously, we have 2 power stations. The engines at Clifton Pier run on heavy fuel oil, which is the cheaper fuel. So during the winter months, we may get away with just running the Clifton Pier power station. And because HFO is a lot cheaper than diesel is, the fuel surcharge is lower. But now in the summer months, in fact, if you look on the board behind me, you can see our total available generation is just under 300 megawatts.
Is that this board right here?
Yes.
Yes.
And then the active load is 256 megawatts. That's how much.
I see it, yeah.
That's how many engines we are running in New Providence right now to meet that demand of 260 megawatts.
Yes.
That is a lot of fuel. Clifton Pier cannot carry that load by itself. So we have to run diesel units at Blue Hills Power Station. Our turbines, we have some propane units at Blue Hills, but the majority of the engines at Blue Hills Power Station run on diesel, which is more expensive. And so every day that we have to run those units, we're burning more and more fuel. And because the cost is higher, the fuel surcharge goes up.
So what would you say? Because, we think now we are all educated and we got TikTok and everything else. So we say, but we don't see the cost of, the cost of a barrel of oil, going on the
down.
world. Right. And we don't see it fluctuating excessively. But how you just explain that with the fact that extra engines are running and the fact that these engines require this fuel, this is where that fuel surcharge comes in.
We're burning more fuel on all of the islands. And we only run diesel on the Family Islands. That is the only fuel available to any of the islands. We operate 29 power stations on 17 islands. It's not an easy thing to do. And what we're trying to do is to bring all of the islands to the same level of service, so that there's no disparity between the level of service you would get in New Providence and the level of service you would get in Long Key, for example.
So, wow. Madam Chair, Madam CEO, as we wrap this evening, can you speak to the Bahamian people, not just those islands that are still saying ouch, about, at the top of the show, the minister talked about, listen, we are working with our private providers and the timelines, and we're sensitive to that, and we're working to meet this goal. How far is that goal?
The renewable energy goal, I would say, is about 18 to 24 months away. Because we're at the beginning stages of these projects, land clearing, etc. And then we'll move into the installation and execution phases. Once the solar and batteries are online, that means that we can produce power from the sun, which means we're burning less fuel. We'll still supplement that with LNG, which should lower the cost overall to our consumers. So there is a plan in place. I don't want the Bahamian people to think that we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. We're absolutely not. We're all working every single day to meet the demand and our goals.
I thank you very much, Madam CEO. I know my team is here. What is it, Abaco? I'll tell you, because we all working together to get your questions in and everything that you want, every single thing. And before we go, and I know Justin, you sitting in the corner there, Shadi, keep this audio on. Let me just ask the CEO one other thing about the possible rebate for the family islands, which you talk about. That's Abaco, Eleuthera, and now Cat Island.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So you all heard that? You all heard that you're going to save this month. That's exactly what that means, rebate. You understand what it means. You have something to do and get it done. And of course, this is what you want them to understand, that BPL isn't just sitting in these exclusive air-conditioned offices, but you're not just working, but you're also working to make them happy now and bring that relief.
And futuristically as well.
And futuristically as well. I thank you so much. I thank all of the very senior executive team here at BPL this evening for opening BPL to Beyond the Headlines. I thank Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, who had this vision to say, you know what, can you all come here and help us speak to the Bahamian people to continue making them aware of what we're doing, because it's important to them that they understand you're not trying to be mean, you're trying to take us and move us forward. I thank you very much. Of course, I thank the chairman, who was in our second segment, and of course at the top of tonight's show, Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, Minister of Energy and Transport. Thank you as well for being here and bringing the nation into BPL. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you. I hope your questions got answered. I hope that you are more satisfied. Yes, I know when the power goes out, it's still vexing, but you have a better understanding of what's happening, and we hope to maybe do this again. I thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team that's here with me, I'm Shanique Miller. Thank you so much for watching. Make it a great evening.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited.